All right, it's about time to talk sports this beautiful Thursday morning. Of course, welcome to Honor 103.5 FM. In case you don't know, we are broadcasting live from the city of Ibadan, the capital city of Oyo State. This is Sport Today, where we give you the latest and the biggest coming from the world of sport. And on the news this morning, we talk about transfer because, ladies and gentlemen, Harry Maguire might be making that big move to West Ham United. We talk about that on the show this Thursday morning. We talk about the Falcons of Nigeria because, as we speak, they are currently here in Nigeria. And of course, we are counting down toward the English Premier League. These are many more stories that will be coming your way this beautiful Thursday morning. My name is Ajoro Pelu Sekinat. Of course, can simply call me Purity. I'm not alone in the studio. I got my boss with me, Samson Balogun, and together we'll be doing justice to several talking points making the round in the world of football. Good morning to you, Samson, and welcome to Sport Today on Honor 103.5 FM.
Well, good morning, Ayomeku. It is about time we talk sport on Honor 103.5 FM. As we do, we bring you unbiased sport analysis and, of course, undiluted sport reporters. Yes, be at the edge of your seat as we bring you interesting stories that resonate with you this morning.
All right, Samson, let's start with the Super Falcons of Nigeria because, according to report, the guests have landed right there in Nigeria, and after that beautiful game against England, and several people have been talking about that game, but then they are in the country, and guess what? The coach of the team did not join them back to Nigeria. He has just back to USA. So we don't know the future of the coach of that team. So what do you think about the Falcons of Nigeria?
You know, people have been making issues as regards why he dumped them and decided not to return to Nigeria with them. I think it's a non-issue because we all knew, even before the tournament, he had contract issues with the NFF. And I think this should not be the time for us to be having that kind of conversation. And moreover, we have an understanding that it just doesn't work with the NFF. He has a contract with another college where he takes part-time duties up with them. So basically, it's not a case of if he has 100% loyalty with the Falcons. Basically, we all know that it's not 100% loyalty. It's not 100% into this job. It's just one of the part-time jobs he does. So basically, he also has other things to attend to. Just like some players, sometimes when they go for competitions, they tell you, yes, I have an important assignment to do at my team, at my base right there, probably in Europe, and I can't go back to Nigeria with you guys, so I'll have to join you much later. I have some flight to catch, things like that. So it happens. Take, for example, when they came into Nigeria, some of them are in Lagos, some of them are in Abuja, some are in Ibadan. So it just tells you that, see, no matter there's this Yoruba saying that says, there's a way they put it that, okay, if 20 children start playing in the morning, does not necessarily mean all 20 will be together by evening. So it tells you that at a point in time, everybody will have to depart and go to their various destinations, and that's exactly what happened. Yes, this is the time for the NFF to go back to the drawing board. Yes, this guy's contract is ending in less than a month. Less than a month. What exactly do you have in stock? Are we bringing in another specialist, another tactician? If we are not bringing in another tactician, are we looking inwards or outwards? If that is not the case, are we giving him a new contract? Because I must tell you that basically this tournament that they just came back from, yes, they were just unlucky to lose against England. They were no match for England in that particular game. They were everywhere. They were fighting for every loose ball. They were from one corner to the other. You see quality players doing exceptional things. Aside from a huge mistakes that actually cost them the game at the end of the day, I tell you, they did exceptionally well. And that this is happening is because there are still contract issues. This is a time to start building for another competition. It's not like you have to wait until the next competition. So you start building. Well, see, there is one thing about these English teams. When you look at the team they brought, they are fresh injections into that team.
New players
in the team. They are all players in that team. It tells you that over time they were able to inject fresh legs. Lauren James was not part of the team, from inception.
Heroes,
yes, so they brought her on board as she has been, doing exceptionally well with her team at Chelsea. Now she just made sure that her name will not be forgotten in that team, that they have actually gone to a competition, to the World Cup. And then she's going to be a mainstay in that team. Forget about the card she got. That I call that useful exuberance. From now, I know she will learn from that. You cannot, continue to do that in a football game, especially important ones. Yes, they were lucky to scale through even with a mistake, but now NFF should go back to the drawing board. Let's start building ahead of the next competition. It is not until we have 3 months left that we start gathering players. And now you now start toiling with players' career, and some of them, they will play the qualifiers, and when it's time to play the competition proper, they will end up on the bench or you drop them from the team. It is not done anywhere. Start building a team around players that you know will be functioning when they get. There are some players that they didn't even get a look in this competition.
Yeah.
And they were on the bench.
Monday Gifts was not even given the opportunity to play.
She only played once, I think about 10-15 minutes or thereabouts. And that's all. A talented player at that. And there are some players who are actually past their glory days. But they squeezed them into this
the team.
Brought them to the World Cup, and eventually they did nothing than sit on the bench and cheer the other players on. See, the beauty of having quality players on the bench is that they give you competition when you are playing. You know that if you make a mistake and you get dropped to the bench, that person that is coming to take your place is actually going to do much more than you are going to do. So that is why we have substitutes on the bench. It is for competition. And once there's no competition, it brings like a attitude to players who are on the field of play. They know that there's no suitable replacement on the bench, and then they start misbehaving. So I believe NFF should start doing the right thing as of now.
All right, I would like to ask you this. Before the World Cup, several people have been criticizing the coach of the Falcons based on his performance before the World Cup. And getting to the World Cup, I think we saw a new Falcons in that World Cup, starting from their game against Canada, Australia, and the Republic of Ireland, and most especially against England. It looked like there's a massive improvement in that team. If we track back at their previous game before the World Cup, people have been calling for the coach Ed, but then after this tournament, it's getting more support from the fans of Nigeria. So do you think we should still keep the coach right there with the team?
Look, Ayomeko, I've always said this. There are some people, someone like me, whether you put me under pressure or you don't put me under pressure, I'm going to deliver.
Get the result.
But there are some people that if you don't put them under pressure, they will not do what they are meant to do. In fact, they will continue to stall and stall until they waste all the time in the world. There are some people like that. And I think that Randy Waldron falls in that category. It is until when people started talking about his performance, what exactly are you doing? You are earning this much. What exactly are you doing for the team? And then you saw the beauty of the game. You saw his technical master class come to play at the World Cup. That is the kind of attitude he wants. And then you have to give it to him. Always put him in check at all times. You don't just give him because I have given you a contract. You have a 2 years contract. And you should be doing whatever you like. No. You call them to order. This is what we want. Don't forget, every time you send a memo to them, we still have a goal that we want to achieve. Once you start reminding them like that, they know exactly that they are being paid to do a particular job. And if they are not delivering, then they have to be called to order. Like, okay, you are not doing what you should be doing. So I think Randy Waldron still, for me, if given another contract, he's still going to perform, provided, as I said earlier, we put him in check at all times. This is why we hired you. We did not hire you to come and conquer Africa. We have conquered Africa countless times. We hired you to make sure we are a mainstay in foreign football. So when we go to the World Cup, when we go to the Olympics, we are a force to reckon with, not just African champions. We want to be world champions too. We want to be Olympic champions too. These are the things we want from you. So once they start reminding him of that, then we will know.
You'll be on his toes.
Yes, this is exactly why I've been hired.
All right. Don't forget that all African team has been set out of this World Cup, the likes of South Africa and Nigeria, and of course Morocco. But then action will resume tomorrow, where Spain will be hosting the Netherlands, and of course Japan against Sweden. Let's talk about tomorrow's game, where we have Sweden. When we have Spain against Netherlands. We saw what they did in their previous game. Netherlands against South Africa, they did very well in that game. But Spain also will be playing against them. So what do you think will happen in that game?
I think so many people are they underrated Spain prior to this competition. They never believed they would get here. And when you look at the kind of football they play, how they score their goals, you begin to understand the fact that it's a original carbon copy of the Spanish first team that we've been seeing in the last 10 years. So it tells you that there has been a lot of it's only in Africa that we don't prepare. In Europe, they set goals of 10-20 years. This is what we want to achieve. And within that period of time, by the time you have 2-3 years to the expiration of the set goal, you begin to see it manifest. That is exactly what is happening to Spain. They have been in shambles for years, and when they realized we cannot continue this way, they brought in a tactician that understands the game, that has gathered experience over time, and now he brought in fresh legs, young players. When you look at their faces, you begin to understand the fact that these are young players. They are ready to deliver at any time, and that's exactly what they are doing now. They have been together for some time. They camped together, and then when you see the way they exchange passes, you understand that player A understands where player B should be, not where player B is. Where player B should be. So you put passes where a certain player should be, and lo and behold, that player will be there. It's understanding of the game, understanding of your coach's tactical, prowess. So if your coach tells you this is what I want, you have to go back and understand that particular tactics. So if you don't, you begin to have. That's why you see people misplacing passes on the field of play. They tell you should do 3 against 1. So when you triangulate a certain player, get a pass going from point A to point B, then from point B to point C. So you have triangulated a certain player at the middle. That is -1, because when that passes get to his or her back, it becomes a problem for the opposing team. So this is what the Spanish team are doing. They know exactly where all their players will be on the field of play. And they have been playing their tiki-taka the way it should be played. That's the copy of the Spanish team that we know, the male team. Now, they were underrated. And this is the first time they are getting to this stage at the World Cup. It tells you that it's a process. Even if they don't win now, but I doubt if there is any team that is capable of dropping them out of this competition. But if they fail to win this time, they have built a pedigree. They have never been
sent a message.
Yes, they have sent a message to people like, okay, we can do it. And then when they start meeting the so-called, look at the so-called big names. How many of them are left in this competition?
They're out already.
They're out.
The Olympic champion Canada are out.
Canada is out.
The defending champion USA
is out. So these are the kind of message I want you to reason along with me today. Spanish team, they are on a course to win this trophy. And I believe if they continue to play the way they are playing, burying all chances that they have been you see them scoring a lot of goals. It tells you that they are not ready to. So if it is just 2 chances they have, they want to convert those 2 chances and make sure you don't score yours. That's the point.
All right, guys, you are still on to Sport Today on Honor 103.5 FM, and of course still talking sports in a big way. But right about now, we'll be going on a short commercial break, and when we return, definitely the show will continue.
On 103.5 FM.
The essence of interior design will always be about people and how they live. It is about the realities of what makes for an attractive, civilized, and meaningful home environment. This is our foremost concern at Mr. Johnson Furniture and Interior Decoration, and this is why we stay faithful to your own taste, because nothing you really like is ever out of style. Mr. Johnson Furniture and Interior Decoration, we specialize in importing and delivering quality royal beds, sofas, lights, and doors to every home across Nigeria. We are located inside Dogafort Filling Station in Lewura Junction, Akala Express, Ibadan. Call us up on 080-913-35706 or send a WhatsApp message to 090-445-30230. We don't just sell quality products. Our maintenance team is on standby to give free routine maintenance for a whole year after purchase. Mr. Johnson Furniture, our passion is to bring affordable luxury to every home and offices.
lótìtọ́ àti lódodo bá a ti rìn lákòóní láti wá look trendy níbikíbi àti nígbàkúùgbà. iléeṣẹ́ amúnidára Mike Tomon Bespoke Tailor ní gbogbo ayé ná báyìí. Oh yes, upwardly mobile individuals are now pitching their tent with Mike Tomon Bespoke Tailor to look trendy and corporate at all times. At Mike Tomon, we handle corporate, natives, casuals, uniforms, and all kinds of fashion designs. ìròyìn wá tó àmójúbà o. ẹ kàn sí iléeṣẹ́ Mike Tomon Bespoke Tailor lẹ́ni ní nọ́mbà 30 Adébájọ Road, Kogi, Bódìjà, Ìbàdàn. Or call 080-3644-8054. At Mike Tomon Bespoke Tailor, we help people look good.
On 103.5 FM.
All right, welcome back. In case you are still just joining, this is Sport Today on Honor 103.5 FM. All right, Samson, let's talk about the transfer that is making the run in the world of football. Just yesterday, we received that report that Harry Maguire is wanted by West Ham United. What did you make of that?
Well, I think it's been a long time coming. They have just been delaying just because of prices involved and negotiations here and there. I think Harry Maguire needs that move, basically because he needs a fresh start, and it's just one thing that will resuscitate his career. If not, he will end up being on the bench for a long time. Because at Manchester United right now, yes, they need a ball play. I said something on this show. I think that was last week. They need a ball-playing defender. Yes, Harry Maguire knows how to do that. But then, what gives you the assurance that his combination with
the likes of Lisandro Martinez,
it's not going to work with the kind of goalkeeper they currently parade. It's not that kind of goalkeeper that can give you the assurance that there will be no error. Yes, you want a ball-playing goalkeeper. Yes, and you have Andre Onana. He's very good at that. But then, even during this current preseason, we have seen mistakes from both ends. We have seen where Onana had to shout at Harry Maguire. Look, you cannot be doing this. And then, after he shouted on him, I think the following game, he made a mistake. They scored. RC Lens scored him from the midfield. It tells you that he was way behind his goal post, and he could not, recover until the ball got into the net. See, football is beyond this is what we want. Sometimes it is more of what you need than what you want. Yes, Manchester United got what they want in Onana, but is Onana actually what they actually needed? For me, I don't see why they had to let David De Gea go. But then, yes, he's getting old, and then if he's probably homesick, he wants to go home and other things like that. Players need change sometimes, just to make sure they resuscitate their career and stay afloat for a little bit more time. But Harry Maguire actually needs that move. Even if it is going to be on loan, he has to go. Because at Manchester United, he was meant to be a mainstay in that team, a commander in defense. But he has become an errand boy to the likes of players who actually met him in that team. Yes, Rafael Varane is experienced, but he met Harry Maguire in that team. You see, but Varane, each time they play together, will be bossing Harry Maguire around. See, go and do this. Yes, experience can make you do that. But then, when you meet your captain in that team, your captain should be the one in charge. But if your captain is not doing, his duties, is not, doing his responsibilities, it becomes the responsibility of the person that should be a responsibility to make sure he passes the responsibility to the person that should be passing responsibility to someone.
And we've seen that times with that number. So it has happened. So Harry Maguire just has to go. For me, no disrespect to him, he was a very good player at Leicester City. He did exceptionally even
well.
With the Three Lions of England.
Yes, in fact, till now, Three Lions cannot replace him just yet. They still have to look, sideways to see if there is a player better than him in that team. But looking at the situation of things, he's one player that really, I think he's kind of, he feels loved in that Three Lions team more than that of Manchester United. I think there's too much responsibility on him.
Yes,
England team is an all-star team, so you can barely pass blames to any player in that team, unless you are going to blame the coach for selecting the wrong player. But in that Manchester United team, I don't see a wrong player because they have all been paid to do a certain job, and it's not even a voluntary service. So you are being paid to do this. People will not actually really blame, the coach for most of these errors. They know the coach has actually put a motion in place to be worked upon on the field of play. So if it's not working out the way it should work out, they will blame, the players more than they will blame the coach. It's only seldomly that you see them blaming the coach, like, oh, he should have made a substitution as time.
That's true.
But then they will say, you have all the star players in the team. See, you cannot open people's brain and put sense in it. It's impossible.
You just have to do your job at the back door and then see the results.
The farthest a coach can go is to be on the touchline and say, this is exactly how I want
yes.
What if that player gets to the field of play and starts doing something else? See, every player is equivalent to an assistant coach on the field of play. That's how I think. Because you have to think beyond what your coach is thinking, but then you must play to instruction. Sometimes when you feel like, yes, there is a way to advance your game on the field of play, you can do it. Individual brilliance is allowed, but then you don't overdo things. Harry Maguire has been overdoing things. Sometimes he's being caught in possession and leads to a goal. So I think he should go to a place where he has less responsibilities. Nobody really cares if he plays well or bad. You know, they just feel like, yes, it's Harry Maguire and nothing too special. But Manchester United paying over 80 million for a player, they expect a lot. A lot.
Okay, let's turn our attention to Chelsea, because Chelsea are on the news this Thursday morning. They have shown interest in a Belgium midfielder, talking about Lavia this time around. You know, Chelsea has been on the news several times for several reasons also. Caicedo and all that. So now they are turning their attention to Lavia. Do you think is a possible replacement for Caicedo?
Well, I think it's just a like-for-like replacement, because Moise Caicedo is not. There is no agreement as of yet, and it's they are similar in style of play. And then when you look at the price, I think Lavia will cost much less than Moise Caicedo.
48 million pounds.
48 million pounds. I think Liverpool have been going with 35 million, 37. That's why the price difference is really the problem. But if Chelsea can really, pay around 45, 48, I think that would not be bad, because Moise Caicedo is also, for me, is a one-season wonder. He's
21 years old.
He has only played successfully for one season, and there is what gives you the assurance that he's going to repeat that feat the following season. Lavia too is not different from Moise Caicedo. He has been there, yes, but then he upped his game last season, and people were, people started seeing him really well from last season. So when you check the price and what is at stake, you cannot buy a player for 100 million and they start fumbling the following season. No, that's exactly what is wrong with Harry Maguire. So see, sometimes price tags for players who are very young and then
can affect their performance.
So I think this price is not really too much for Lavia. If paying around 47, 48 million for Lavia is what Chelsea has to do, I think they should get him. Yes, there will be competition in Chelsea's midfield, and then they will not be expecting him to be in that team from week in, week out, unless his performance brings him there. So that price, they will feel like, okay, you will be a squad player and then come in when necessary. We still have players like Enzo Fernandez in that team, Chukwuemeka, countless players in that team who can actually fill in that gap. But then they want a situation where if a player is injured, someone should come in. So there should be options in that team.
Still talking about Chelsea, yesterday they make Reece James the captain of that team, drop Thiago Silva from that captaincy position. So do you think is a welcome development also?
Well, I see it from two angles. One, they feel like Thiago Silva will leave anytime soon. So they don't want to unsettle that team whenever he leaves. So they just want to make sure that there is a preparation ahead of time. But I believe it's more or less a misplaced priority for Chelsea right now. Captaincy of the team should not be the major issue. Reece James is a very good player, no doubt. When fit, he delivers on the field of play. But you have to understand the fact that he's still very young. He still have at least one more year to learn from Thiago Silva. Why not make Thiago Silva the captain and make him the assistant captain? So when Thiago leaves, he automatically becomes the captain of the team. But you saying you want to make him the captain of the team immediately while Thiago Silva is still in that team. Why? So it brings about some sort of sometimes this kind of thing brings about division in the team, and you have players who are pledging their allegiances to different captains in the team. There are captains who don't have armbands, and there are captains who wear armbands. So it becomes two camps in the same team, and then one will be loyal to the coach, the other will be loyal to the board, and then it becomes a problem.
All right, it's nice doing this with you this beautiful Thursday morning. Captain, your parting shot before we say our BYE.
Well, I want to remind the NFF that Randy Waldrum is still there. If they want to renew his contract, let them do it now. If they don't want to renew his contract, let them announce a new coach that will prepare for the next tournament immediately. So they start working ahead. All right, our time is over, but definitely we'll be back tomorrow for another fresh edition of Sport Today on Honor 103.5 FM. My name is Ajoro Adeni. You can simply call me Purity, your sporting investor. Until I come your way again, stay out of trouble. Enjoy the rest of your day.